The Brenner Pass lies on the most important route between Italy and Northern Europe. Every year, over 2 million heavy vehicles travel through the pass. 2/3 of all freight traffic travels by road, only a third by rail. On both sides of the Brenner, work is in full swing on a huge railway project. Right now we are here at the info point of BBT in the ancient fortress of Fortezza. With us Mr. Raffaele Zurlo, CEO of BBT SE, the company which is in charge of building the Brenner Base Tunnel. Mr. Zurlo, can you tell us something more about this great project? Why is it being built?
The Brenner Base Tunnel is a section of the Trans-European network system. The main goal of this big project of the European Union is to divert heavy traffic, freight traffic, from the motorway, from the roads to the rails. And the Brenner Base Tunnel is a small part of the much longer Scandinavian Mediterranean corridor, which stretches between Northern Europe and Malta. The Brenner Base Tunnel is developed between Fortezza and Innsbruck. It is made up of three different tunnels, two single-track railway tunnels and one exploratory tunnel, which is utilized to carry out investigations, geological investigations, geotechnical investigations, in order to optimize the design of this tunnel. Not only the exploratory tunnel is very important to our project because it allows us to better operate during the construction phase, because it is our logistic motorway. We are able to transport all our equipment, materials, spoil materials, construction materials without utilizing public roads. And this is something very, very important as far as the impact of our project, of our activities, of our sites on the local environment is.
Mm-hmm. Can you show us something more? What does it look like exactly?
Normally we say the Brenner Base Tunnel, but really it's clear, it's not a single tunnel. It's a system of tunnels consisting of three different tunnels, as I said, two single-track railway tunnel and the exploratory tunnel. The single-track railway tunnels are connected to each other by means of these bypasses every 333 meters to be utilized as escape routes in case of accidents in one of the railway tunnels. We have as well every 20 kilometers emergency stations, emergency stops to be utilized in case of accident, of course, but as well during the maintenance activities, in order to carry out maintenance activities. Each stop is connected to outside by means of these lateral access tunnels, here in Arental and Santiago in Austria, and here in Maus in Italy.
Here we are traveling by car to the largest construction site of the project, Mules. Can you give us some numbers about that?
The Mules construction site is the most important construction site we have at the moment. This section of our tunnel is about 25 kilometers long, and we are supposed to be there working on this section for the next 6 years. At the moment, we have about 600 people working on this site, workers, technicians, consultants working there. This is a very demanding section. We have at the moment 6 excavation fronts working, and by the end of this year, according to our work program, we will have 3 tunnel boring machines at the same time working on 3 different tunnels, on the railway tunnels and on the excavation tunnel. This contract, the contract concerning this section, was awarded for a value of about 1 billion euros, and the tendering procedure we utilized to award this contract was carried out according to Italian laws, of course, European directives, and the criterion we utilized to carry out this tendering procedure has been the most economically advantageous criterion, and I would say that thanks to this specific, particular kind of procedure, we obtained good results, and the effects of this tender we are enjoying today, I would say, as far as the regular development of the contract of the activities is concerned.
We are within the exploratory tunnel. This is the section where the tunnel is being excavated by the tunnel boring machine. Could you explain to us this machine?
This is the TBM to be utilized for the excavation of this exploratory tunnel. We are now here close to the backup of this machine. Ahead of us, we had the other 2 main sections of this machine. The cutting head, which is the device of this equipment, which is supposed to excavate, to demolish the rock in order to let all the system to advance. We have ahead of us as well, before reaching the cutting head, the shields of this machine. This is a tunnel boring machine, a double shielded TBM specifically, which means that we have 2 shields ahead of us to be utilized to follow directly, very closely, cutting head, the rotating cutting head. The backup is made up of several different devices necessary to carry out both the excavation activities and at the same time the final lining activities. We know that the final lining in this kind of excavation consists of precast concrete segments, which are set in place by the devices we have ahead of us, very close to the excavation front. And here we have all the devices, electrical devices, mechanical devices, shotcrete pumps, and concrete mixer necessary to carry out all the other activities which follow the excavation phase itself.
Earlier today, you talked about tender procedures. Let's focus on that. What kind of tender procedures do you adopt?
We adopted all the procedures allowed by the European directives and by the Italian laws, of course, in order to award contracts concerning activities, works to be carried out in the Italian sector of our project. We followed the Italian procedures and, of course, the European directives. Specifically, as far as Mule's contract is concerned, we utilize the most economically advantageous tender criterion, and the same we did in order to award the contract concerning the Isarco underpass. In both cases, we utilize this meet procedure, and I would say that this procedure is today producing its good appreciated effects as far as the construction management phase is concerned. as far as the kind of contracts we awarded, I would say that we follow two different schemes, two different guidelines, let's say, to carry out the Mules contract and the Isarco underpass contract. In the first case, the Mules contract, we utilize the scheme, the build scheme. So in this case, the contractor is supposed to carry out just the construction activities according to a design which has been developed, produced by BBT itself. In the other case, the underpass, the Isarco underpass contract, we didn't follow this scheme. We awarded the design and build contract, and in this case, the contractor is supposed to develop both the final design and the construction activities. I would say that according to the specific contents of the contract to be awarded and to be carried out, it's the case to choose the best form for the contract and the best procedure to be implemented to award the contract itself. Mm-hmm. So we don't have the best formula for as far as tender procedures are concerned. We don't have the best formula as far as the contract scheme is concerned. We must analyze specific situations and we must decide according to the specific situation we are dealing with.
Mm-hmm. 2 years ago, a new tender law went in force. There
Right.
have been great debates among experts. What is your opinion?
The new law has been launched by the government, the Italian government, in order to solve some problems related with the existing code, the existing code, the Delise code. In my opinion, this operation was not successful 100%. Of course, the new law, the new code has introduced some good concepts, some good procedures, a couple of good ideas. But generally speaking, I wouldn't say that due to the new code today we have a situation which is really different in comparison with the previous one. The two good things introduced by the new code refer to the list of technicians to be utilized while carrying out the tendering procedures, to form the awarding committees, and the other good idea is the one referred to the certification of awarding authorities. Very good concepts, good ideas, able to produce good effects in the future, but after 2 years from the launch of the new code, nothing has been done as far as these two good points are concerned. On the contrary, the other norms introduced by the new code didn't produce really any particularly good effect on the situation we previously had according to the previous Delise code. I would say that it's not possible really it's not possible to really optimize the tendering procedures, the contract development by introducing new norms, new laws, new procedures. The problem we have, in my opinion, is the quality of the resources utilized to carry out our job. We do need, in my opinion, to improve the quality of the public administration. The experience and the capacities of the people involved in these activities. In both phases, the tendering phase and the construction management phase. We need experienced people, very well trained people, and we need to improve the competence of all the guys involved in this procedures concerning public works. The introduction of new laws, of new codes, is not sufficient, is not itself enough.
We are directed towards the Isarco River Underpass. This is the second largest construction site of the project BBT. Mr. Zurlo, what is going on exactly there?
On the Isarco Underpass site, we are constructing the southern section of our project. It's 5 kilometers long. It's much shorter than the section in Mules, but I would say it's a very, very demanding one. It contains this specific stretch, which is only 70 meters long within the entire contract, the entire section. And in order to underpass the Isarco River, we are supposed to utilize the most advanced construction techniques. First of all, jet grouting and soil freezing. In this manner, we will be able to avoid the diversion of the Isarco River. We will be able to underpass the Isarco River, leaving the river where it is right now. And this is very important as far as the reduction of the impact on the environment is concerned. Really, in this manner, we will be able to minimize the impact on the local people living here, on the local traffic, on the local environment, and in all the phases of our project, whatever the section we are dealing with, the minimization of the impact on the environment is always a very important aspect of our activity, a very important goal of our activities.
Right now we are nearby the river Isarco. Mr. Zurlo, what activities are carried out here?
Here in this section of our project, we are supposed to carry out the underpass of the Isarco River itself. In order to complete this underpass, we are supposed to construct these 4 shafts. We can see here where we are here right now. And at the bottom of these shafts, we will start the construction, the excavation of our horizontal tunnels in order to underpass the Isarco River, which is very, very close to ourselves here in this point. In order to carry out these horizontal excavations, we will utilize the new technique of jet grouting and fill and soil freezing in order to improve, to optimize the consolidation of the soil to be excavated.
And is there any risk about water infiltration or?
Of course, in this kind of works, of activities, we have this risk, okay. Of course. But we, before starting the excavation of the tunnels, before starting the excavation of the shafts themselves, we consolidated the soil. We, to some extent, waterproofed the soil by utilizing the jet grouting technique and the soil freezing technique. After the soil has been frozen, of course, we are a reasonable guarantee as far as the waterproofing of the soil is concerned, as far as the capacity of the soil itself is concerned. So I would say that to some extent we can feel safe about what we are doing now and about what we are supposed to start doing in the next few months.
We are directed towards Hinterrega. This is an area on the south of the project BBT. There lies the factory where they produce the precast segments.
We produce over there in Hinterrega site precast concrete segments to carry out the construction of the final lining of the sections of our project which are excavated by means of tunnel boring machines. When normally we utilize tunnel boring machines to carry out the excavation of tunnels, in these cases the final lining is made up of precast concrete segments. In our case, in our organization, in our logistic organization, the production of these precast concrete segments is carried out in Hinterrega. So over there we set up a factory able to produce up to 250 precast segments per day to be transported, to be transferred to the excavation fronts to be set in place by means of the site trains. Even in this case, we avoid completely to utilize public roads to transport our equipments, our materials. In this manner, we of course minimize the impact on the local environment.
So these are the precast segments we talked about before. What are they used for?
We utilize these precast concrete segments to realize the final lining of our tunnels. When we carry out the excavation of our tunnels by means of tunnel boring machines, we utilize this precast segment to complete our job, to complete the structure, the so-called final lining of our tunnels.
We are inside of a factory. Where are we exactly? What are you producing here?
This is the factory we utilize to precast our concrete segments. You can see here, all here around. We utilize these precast segments to carry out the construction of the final lining of our tunnels. Here in this factory, we produce these concrete segments by utilizing the material, the spoil material we excavate during the construction of our tunnels. Here we are able to produce about 250 precast segments per day, and here we have at the moment about 80 people working within this factory. The advantages related to the utilization of this factory here within the perimeter of our working sites is related to the fact that in this manner we don't need to transport spoil materials and precast segments utilizing public roads. We do everything here within our working sites. We do produce precast segments here while utilizing our spoil materials, and we transport these precast segments to the tunnels to be lined by means of our side trains we can see here outside. So in this manner we really minimize the impact of our activities, production and transportation on the local environment, and this is something very, very important. I would say instrumental to our project.
Such a huge project as the BBT offers many opportunities now already before the completion. What measures do you adopt to use these opportunities?
I would say that the first and the most important opportunity we have here is the opportunity and the possibility to work on this project, because thanks to this project we have at the moment about 650 people working on our sites on the Italian side and 400 people working in Austria. So at the moment our project means 1,000 jobs in Italy and Austria at the moment, and we are supposed even to increase the number of people working on our sites, on our project. At the same time, we do want to utilize this opportunity to improve the knowledge we have in this specific sector of engineering, of tunneling. That's why we host here students developing their studies within technical sectors, working on specific technical matters related to what we are doing on our project. And at the same time we are open to students coming from secondary schools, from Bolzen, from everywhere here in Südtirol, in Alto Adige. We have each year about 30 students coming from secondary levels schools, spending here a period between 15 and 30 days, experiencing what really it means to stay here working on a construction site so important and demanding as it is at the moment and as it will be in the future. We open our doors for one day, the open day site, and we host in these days between 3,000 and 4,000 people in just one day. And because we do believe that it's absolutely important to inform people living here and coming from even from abroad about what we are doing on this site, it is important to let them participate in the development of our project, because this is essential, this is instrumental to the correct and regular development of our project.
I have one last question. Within the tunnel we heard many different languages, but we heard neither Italian nor German. Why is that?
Our project is really an international one. It's not an Austrian project, it's not an Italian project, it's a European project. That's why we have on our side people coming from all over Europe, I would say. We had some months ago people from 13 different countries in Europe here with us working on this project. I would say that this is one of the most important characteristics, in my opinion, of our project. It's really an international project, and I would say that these things represents a very important opportunity we have to utilize, to benefit from all these different cultures, different experience, joining here all together working on this project.